First of all, pleasant morning to each and every one of you guys. God is good. We have another day where we're alive, we're well, I don't know if everybody's healthy, but I pray God you have enough health to be able to move around, observe the world, etc. It's a beautiful morning. You can probably hear the birds chirping in the background. They just busy doing all kinds of things out there. And probably I'll show you guys outside at another time, but that's not what we're here for. All right. I just wanted to give the Most High praise. Thank you, Most High, for life, strength, and health so that I can even come here and speak to you guys. Let me share with you guys a real quick piece of scripture here. You know I'm a scripture boy. So I'm going to share you a little quick piece of scripture here. Start off your day. You know, we always like to keep our foundation. Our foundation. Yo, you know, it's not going to be long. All right. Okay, this is what it is. So you can check out Matthew 11, verse 10. It says, "Look, I'm sending my messenger in front of you, and he will prepare your way before you." You know, everybody always thinks that's only when we talk about Jesus, that is, John the Baptist. But actually, Jesus also sent out his apostles, 70 apostles and then 12 apostles in front of him. And they was also to make the way for when he came into a city. So similarly, you and I, now I'm just speaking from a Christocentric point of view, of course, but you and I, sometimes we prepare the way for the Lord to enter people's lives. In a way, we kind of open what we call the portal or the gateway. You know, there's so much I want to say. So let me just shrink it down to just a few simple distilled knowledge. All right. So when we talk about the gateway or the portal, what we're really talking about is access to a human's mind. All right. So or to a mind. So when we talk about making a way for the Lord to come into our heart, what we're talking about is opening somebody's eyes or their mind to God or to spiritual things, and helping them become aware of these things. It's an awareness. It's that's what we mean by open a portal or a gateway. So in this case, for example, everything I do and say is in preparation for whoever is listening, to give them more awareness of what spiritual things are going on. So even though I'm talking about boxing, my mindset and my focus is on opening people's awareness to God all the time. You understand? And that's preparing the way. You understand what I'm saying? So, no matter how I behave, sometimes it's not really appropriate. And God uses even your flaws to still get to people, because it's all about listening to somebody's heart and knowing what they need. Okay. So that's how you satisfy that need. And it causes them now to open awareness to, okay, there's something good about maybe this person, or there's something good about this situation. And it helps them to start to search for what is this thing that the desirable quality. What is this thing that this person has? Or what is this thing that this situation is presenting that I can get more of? And that causes their awareness, and it helps them to go on a journey and search for this thing, which is God. Eventually they'll find God. All right. Anyway, I just wanted to say that. Let me get on to the other stuff. So that's Matthew 11, just in case you guys want to read the scripture again. Matthew 11, verse 10 is what I just read. It refers to John the Baptist, but and the prophecy concerning him, but actually it applies to you, any individual who is trying to get awareness, people aware of goodness in this world and how to actually become a conduit or become a servant of goodness. All right. So when I talk about God, what I'm really speaking about is goodness. OK, and I try to make it as realistic and sensible to anybody, whether you believe what I believe or not. All right, let's get into it. So, Andre Ward says something. I was looking at it. I was thinking, all these fights that happened, you know, which look like impossible fights, but they happen. He said something so true, and I'm gonna say it, and I want to reinforce this, not just as a fan, but also to other boxers to do the same. Mayweather versus Pacquiao happened because Mayweather actually met with Manny Pacquiao. He had never met with Manny Pacquiao before that. They met at a basketball game, and they two hashed out what they wanted to do and how they wanted to get this fight done. It was the two fighters that met each other and talked. And that's what really made the fight happen. They didn't work through their handlers. They didn't work through their managers or their promoters, or, you know, they talked to each other personally. Now, I believe it was Michael Kantz got Pacquiao to see Floyd Mayweather. And from that, these two were able to talk, and that's how the fight happened. I think of Devin Haney versus George Kambosos. Before George Kambosos had faced Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney and George Kambosos had spoken to each other on the phone with each other. And George said if he wanted to fight, he would give Devin Haney a shot. George kept to his word, even though he wanted to face Lomachenko. George kept to his word, and after he beat Teofimo Lopez, he faced Devin Haney. And I got to salute George on that and keeping his word and everything. You know what I mean? He knew Devin Haney was a tough fight, but he still took it on. He took on the task. And listen, man, I salute you, brother. Even though you lost those two fights, you a real deal. You a real warrior. You a real fighter. You're a real Spartan. And I don't care what nobody said about George Kambosos. That man has my respect, and he'll always have my respect. And he's not trash. Just because Devin Haney beat him twice, made him look ordinary, he not trash. And y'all don't understand, and y'all gonna realize this man, and actually he improved his game some, right? Okay. And he still talks with Devin Haney to this day. Let's talk about another one. So the other two fighters that met each other, that we don't talk much about, but they did, was, who did I just do? I just did Floyd. I just did Devin Haney. A third one, actually, I think Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney also talked on the phone with each other, right? The other fighters that I think Devin Haney's going to end up facing Teo at 140. All right, and like just for the record, we know Devin Haney also is going up to 140, so it's settled now, and they actually have a date in October when Devin Haney is going to be facing Regis Prograis. So Devin Haney is going to take on Regis Prograis for the WBC title, and he may have another fight lined up with Teofimo Lopez after that. So Devin Haney is no longer at 135. He's going to probably vacate all his titles. Since we'll move up to 140, and he's going to face guys at 140. Okay, so that's settled. With respect to this fight, Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford contacted Errol Spence, and they had a little dialogue, and then they talked to each other on the phone. And that is how this fight happened. This is, again, the fighters met with each other, and they got this fight done. And Errol Spence said, contrary to his team, he allowed Terence Crawford, because Errol Spence wanted the fight to happen, he gave certain concessions to Terence Crawford for the split, the financial split, even though his team wanted to stand on the financial split. Errol said, no, let it be, right? So Errol and Terence made that fight possible. Okay, the fighters got with each other, started talking with each other, started reasoning with each other, started working out things with each other. And their team still had to dot the I's, cross the T's, get the legal stuff in order. You know, still got to know how they were going to promote this, how they're going to put together the card and all of that. But the two fighters made this happen. And that's something that Andre Ward said. It's such a vital point. It's going to come down to the fighters. If they really want to fight, they have to talk with each other, negotiate with each other. They're still going to work with their teams, but their teams work for them. They got to make sure they get this fight. They make the fight happen. You know? And that is what, and I'm seeing fighters talking to each other. And if they really want fights to happen, they need to talk with each other, not just the teams. The teams are going to put the infrastructure in place to make sure the fight is fiscally viable, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So they got the expertise for that. This is what could work. This can't work. But the fighters need to come to the table and talk with each other. If they really want that fight, they need to talk with each other. That's what happened with Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford. And Andre Ward, gave mad props to both fighters and showing that both fighters didn't duck each other or dodge each other. And we getting, goddamn, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, we're getting the best fight ever out of this. We're gonna get the best fight ever out of this because nobody knows who's gonna win. At least we don't know what kind of fight we'll get, but nobody knows who's gonna win. Right now, I don't know who's gonna win. I told y'all that, right? If you were telling me like 5 years ago, I'd say Errol would have won because it was bigger. I don't know who's gonna win now. Okay, I really don't. And this is a better fight than 5 years ago because more's at stake. The fighters are more experienced. Both fighters have settled into the weight class. Both fighters got mad abilities that can counter each other. This is such an ideal fight that I cannot pick a winner tonight. So I'm so very excited to see this fight. Now, what I'm saying, though, is take home message. If you really want to fight a fighter, if fighters really want to fight each other, you can make the fight happen. You got to talk to people who have made it happen. You had Mayweather and Pacquiao. You can talk to those guys. You can talk to Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. They made it happen. You can talk to Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis. They made it happen. Devin Haney and George Kambosos, they made it happen. All right? I just gave you 4 examples. So if you really want to make fights happen, Shakur Stevenson, I'm talking to you. If you really want to make fights happen, stop showing up at people's door, trying to put them on blast, and work behind the scenes, because that's where most of it happened, and talk to them behind the scenes. But do understand, if you want a real mega fight, you got to put yourself in position for that. If you're not proven at the lightweight, and you calling out everybody, but you ain't got no damn resume, right? Yes, you prove yourself at other weight classes, but you ain't prove yourself at lightweight. You ain't done nothing at lightweight. Now in Nui, didn't do nothing at super bantamweight, so you could use that example, but he was undisputed at bantamweight. He jumped up and he said, "I want Stephen Fulton." Fulton said, "Yeah, let's get that smoke." Okay. But he was still unproven. We didn't know what was going to happen at super bantamweight. Right? Fulton obliged him. Got a good payday though. All right. Now, I'm not saying that Shakur shouldn't be calling out fighters and stuff, but the one thing I don't like what Shakur is doing, which again, that's up to him, really, but it's just me. I'm just telling you personally. I don't like when you try to discredit a fighter. Shakur, if you want to have a fight with a fighter, but you're saying they ain't shit, you calling them the worst undisputed champion, then I hear people in the media echoing your stuff when the media should know better, like guys like Elisek Back. How the hell you can be saying that Kambosos, all right? Explain this to me, people. Somebody explain this to me. How can you say that Kambosos is the worst undisputed champion ever? He wasn't undisputed, first of all. He was unified, but nonetheless, right? He the worst undisputed champion ever, but you look at his resume, and his resume is better than anything that Shakur Stevenson's ever faced. Kambosos beat Teofimo Lopez. Who has Shakur Stevenson beaten that's on the level of a Teofimo Lopez? Teofimo Lopez is a 2-time lineal champion in 2 different weight classes right now. He beat the man who beat the man twice. Now tell me, Shakur, yeah, you beat the man. You beat Oscar Valdez once. Okay, but you got nobody on your resume like a Teofimo Lopez. Nobody. Who are you to be discrediting a guy that has proven himself? You got no right to say nothing if you done nothing. You done nothing at the weight class. Nothing. You know, you trying to critique Frank Martin, right? Against his fight against Haratunian, talking about you fought a gold medalist in the Olympics, a Japanese kid. The Japanese kid can't fight like Haratunian. You know this. Haratunian is an IBO world champion. All right. So I hear Shakur, but Shakur be doing this a lot too much. You talking too much, and I know you need to make noise. I get it. I know what you're doing. But I want you to do a little bit less of this, a little bit more of negotiations in the background. I need you to get the fights. I don't want to hear you chirping, but you're not getting nothing. I don't want you to be a Demetrius Andrade. I don't want you to be somebody that people avoided. I know you got to talk. I know you got to show up at the fights, but you then got to take the opportunities. Devin Haney wasn't playing. He didn't have time. He was like, dude, I can stay for one more fight at 135. But you can't play with me. Don't play with me, son. Don't play with me. We're not playing games out here. Right? Shakur had the opportunity, 25%, to become undisputed, and he didn't take it. What was his problem? Was it Bob Arum? Bob Arum don't want to sign off on it. What was his problem? You got offered, man. You got to offer the deal. Don't tell me about no low ball when this guy, the same guy who's offering you the deal, took less. You know what I'm saying? When you become undisputed, then you get that big fight with Tank, hopefully. Because from what I'm hearing, Tank's either facing, well, there was rumors of Chris Colbert, then there's rumors of Pitbull Cruz running it back with Pitbull Cruz. You know what I mean? Tank don't seem as though he's interested in facing no number one fighters or top 5 fighters. He don't look like that. He look like he's just trying to make money. All right, Tank is not indicating to me that he wants to face the best. I'll be honest with you. I'm being real with you guys. All right, 17 minutes in, I'm gonna wrap this up. So basically what I'm saying is that Shakur, man, you heard what Andre Ward said. You need to start trying to get people who really want to fight in the background. I've always said this. I'm always going to continue to say it. Floyd Mayweather didn't duck or dodge nobody. Floyd Mayweather always faced the best. Always faced the best. Anytime he didn't face somebody, it's because that person didn't want to face him. For whatever reason. Right? And y'all got it misconstrued, young guns. Yes, when you're at the top of the game, you sort of can choose what fights you want to fight because so many people are offering to fight you. But if you look at the people he chose to fight in the end, because he wasn't obligated, he didn't have any mandatories like that. The people he chose to fight were always the best people, period. All right. As Andrew Ward said, and I agree, we criticize fighters a lot. We want to say, and we say all kinds of shit about them, you know. But I feel you need to have some respect for fighters, especially fighters who prove themselves. Devin Haney proved himself, man. George Kambosos proved himself. Y'all want to give guys like Tyson Fury a pass. Nobody's going in on Tyson Fury for the nonsense that he's doing in boxing right now. Y'all giving him a pass. But the guys that actually are proving themselves, y'all not giving no pass. Okay? Devin Haney proved himself. Kambosos has proven himself. Right? But y'all giving Tank a pass. Has Tank proven himself? What top 5 fighter has Tank faced since he's been in lightweight? What top five fighter? What? Ryan Garcia was not a top 5 fighter. Okay? At the time Ryan Garcia faced Tank, we had Devin Haney, Tank, Lomachenko, Kambosos, And we had who else was above? Who was above Ryan? There was somebody else above Ryan. I can't remember who. I don't think it was Pitbull. Was it Pitbull Cruz? Or somebody? Somebody else was above Ryan. All right. And the reason that was so was because Ryan hadn't fought in a while. Right? I think he had one fight before the Tank fight. Or two fights, I think. He looked bad in one, and the other one, he got rid of the dude. My point anyway is, Tank is not facing top guys. Shakur hasn't faced a top guy. Meanwhile, Kambosos has faced 3 top guys in a row. The number 1 fighter in Teofimo Lopez, the number 2 fighter in Devin Haney twice, and the number 10 fighter in Maxie Hughes. Number 9 fighter, sorry, my bad. But you got the audacity to tell this guy that he the worst undisputed champion ever? Come on, Shakur. You know that ain't true. And then he goes on to say, oh, you need to rematch Maxie Hughes because you know you lost that fight. Which again, you're behaving like a punk, Ninja. You sound like a punk because you're not telling the truth. You're behaving like a punk. You're punking people, right? Oh, Lomachenko won the fight against Devin Haney. Okay. So Lomachenko won the fight against Devin. You know boxing too well, Shakur, to be even telling those lies. Lomachenko won what? 4 rounds? 10, 11, 4, and 8? He won 4 rounds out of that fight. You know that. So why are you punking Devin Haney? What's your point? Then, when Devin Haney offers you something to fight him, you're turning it down. Yeah. So you're looking like a real punk out here. You chirping, but you ain't taking nothing. Talking about your worth. Bruh, I know you want to get more, but you're not serious. He give you a second offer. And your punk ass ain't take nothing. You're looking like a punk. You're looking like a chump out here. Rolling up on people, but you're not taking fights. That's why Kambosos put you in your place. He say, hey, homie, I did stuff in this division. Check yourself. Rolling up, oh, you want to duck and dodge you. I said, what Kambosos was like, what you do in this division? You supposed to be taking that 25% with Devin Haney. Why you ain't taking the 25% with Devin Haney? I'm looking for Lomachenko. I got credentials. You got none in this division. I did work. I put in work in this division. I deserve a Lomachenko fight. What about you? You don't deserve nothing. You done nothing. You ain't done shit at lightweight. You ain't done shit, bro. You chirping, but you ain't doing nothing. And this was the opportunity for you to become undisputed. This was the opportunity for you to face Devin Haney. And then your excuse is what? Oh, Devin, he know he won't be perfect at this weight. And then shut up, Shakur. You turned down the fight. He didn't turn down the fight. He offered you. You turned down the fight. Undisputed. You turned down undisputed. So we don't want to hear you. Okay? And for all the people defending Shakur did this. Man, shut up. All right? Bob Arum wasn't going to let that fight happen because Shakur ain't ready for Devin Haney. He's not ready. What part of that do you guys not understand? He could chirp how much he wants. They know he wasn't ready. Right? But he's supposed to chirp. All I'm saying is be respectful of the accomplishments. Otherwise, stupid reporters like Ellie Seckbach gonna go out there and echo what you said. As if you being a professional, he gonna echo you. And then you're gonna have fans like me come on here and check your ass. And then check Ellie Seckbach's ass. Because they need checking. Because they talking shit. How you gonna look at a guy who was unified champion that just faced three top 10 fighters at lightweight? 2 of which, one is presently the best lightweight in the division, and the other one was the best lightweight in the division when he faced him. How you gonna look at that guy and talk about he was the worst undisputed champion ever? Are you out of your flicking mind? Are you freaking stupid? Y'all need to have some respect. And then ESPN with their bias ass commentary made it sound like Maxie Hughes had beaten Kambosos when Kambosos solved him and beat his ass comprehensively from rounds 9 to 12. I had to come and check them. I have to check ESPN. I got to check these clowns. And then I check Shakur Stevenson for giving misinformation to the public. You're punk, bro. You behaving like a punk. Okay? And you know who first started checking your ass? And I now realize I should have listened to him. Dante's Boxing Nation said you was trying to win the Mexican audience over with your Latino roots and your Puerto Rican stuff. Just be you, bro. Be you. Be Shakur Stevenson. But that kind of punk ass, whack ass, goofy ass shit that you're doing is very annoying. It's very annoying. It's goofy. You're a hell of a fighter. But you gotta be real. Do your negotiations in the background. Do your negotiations in the background. And if they really ducking you, we gonna know. But Demetrius Andrade tried this route and it didn't work. It didn't work. It's one thing to call out a guy, but then to try and do a deal with a guy, y'all need to understand. Kambosos obviously wants the Lomachenko fight. That's why he's there. That's why he signed with Top Rank. You're not gonna get it, Shakur. You ain't gonna get the Lomachenko fight. Kambosos is gonna get that. And why? Deservedly so. He got better credentials at lightweight than you. You ain't done nothing. You's a high risk, low reward guy. So you got to boost up your resume. No disrespect to Shakur Stevenson, hell of a fighter. All right? And you could have had it. You could have had all those fights if you were taking the Devin Haney fight. But your handlers know. Jay Prince been in boxing long enough. And Bob Arum's been in boxing long enough to know it's not time for you. You can chirp, and that's great. It'll build a platform, but you wasn't ready. You're not ready right now. We all know this. Those who know boxing know you ain't ready for him yet, but you're going to be ready. When the time comes, it's going to be the right time for you to face Devin Haney. I can see it down the road, somewhere around welterweight. Y'all going to bounce up. That's when that fight going to happen. You're going to be ready then. You're not ready now. We know this. When Bud was calling out Terrence Crawford, he wasn't ready for Terrence Crawford. He was not ready. He ready now. When Devin Haney was calling out Lomachenko, he wasn't ready. He was ready when he faced Lomachenko. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying that Lomachenko wouldn't have had a tough fight with Devin Haney. I'm not even saying that Devin Haney wouldn't have beaten Lomachenko. What I'm saying is mentally, he wasn't mature enough to handle that. He might have beaten Lomachenko, and just like Teofimo Lopez, might have lost his next fight. That's what I mean by not ready. A fighter can be ready to win a particular fight, but is he ready for what he has to do after that? We don't know. Devin Haney's shown now he is ready to deal with win after win after win. I'm not saying he's going to always win, but I'm saying win after win after win. Okay? Because he was developed to that point. And Shakur, same thing. And Shakur is really good, but he still has to be tested. There's still certain fighters and certain fights that Top Rank needs to test him with, and they know that. Because he's bulldozing through everybody right now. But they got to find an opponent that will give him trouble. Floyd Mayweather, bulldozing through everybody at Super Feather until he meet Jesus Chavez. Go watch that fight. That was a true test. Jesus Chavez tested him. He ended up stopping Jesus. Well, Jesus Chavez, his trainer eventually put the towel on it, but Jesus Chavez pushed him. That was his first test. A fighter cannot be cruising his way all through boxing. There are levels to the sport of boxing. There's going to be a style. You're going to look bad in certain fights. It has to happen. Somebody has to test you. So Frank Martin got his test with Haratunian. Teofimo Lopez got his test with Kambosos and Sandor Martin. Okay, Lomachenko got his test with early in his career with the Mexican guy, I forgot his name, Teofimo Lopez, and a couple other fights which were more difficult for him. Fighters got to be tested. You got to be tested out here. Somebody gonna test you. I don't care how good you are. Somebody gonna test you. Somebody gonna rise up to the challenge and gonna put a resistance on you. Okay, Bud got tested by Gamboa. Bud got tested by at welterweight. He got tested by Mean Machine. You all right? You got to be tested. You're not gonna look good in every single fight. Okay, that's how. Not only you need to be tested, but you need to grow up as a fighter. Errol Spence, those accidents made him grow up as a fighter. All right, so that's why I'm saying I know Shakur ain't ready for Devin Haney right now because of the way how he's behaving. All right, that punk shit it don't work. You be chirping, talking about calling out people, and when they call your bluff and they give you an offer and they say, all right, let's fight, right? You don't want to fight? Then so what are you doing then? What are you trying to do? You trying to clout chase? You trying to ride my name? So that's what I'm saying. Okay. So Shakur Stevenson, follow what Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford did. Terrence Crawford's your mentor. Watch what he did. I'm not saying you can't build up a fight over time. So you be calling out a guy, calling out a guy, calling out a guy. That's cool. But if the opportunity presents itself and the guy calls your bluff and says, all right, I want to fight now, you better be ready to fight that guy now. Otherwise, you're going to look like a punk. You look like you're punking people out here, calling fights and saying, and making noise and saying, oh, I don't think Devin won that fight at all. That's some punk ass shit, man. You know better. You know better boxing than that, Shakur. And he started this nonsense when he said, oh, I think Tyson Fury would have beat Muhammad Ali. He started saying all of this kind of whack ass shit. And Dante picked up on it and was like, what is this ninja doing? He's trying to work with the other demographics. He's trying to get other demographics on board. That's why he's talking that shit. Because he know better. He know better. Shakur knows way better. Okay? And you look like a punk, man. You look like a punk. You look like a clown by people who know boxing. All you doing is trying to tarnish other fighters' names because you're not gonna actually take the contract when they offer it to you. You just out there to just try and make yourself look good at the expense of other fighters. And I don't like that. That's some stupid ass, whack ass shit. I'm not down with that. And that's stuff that ESPN do. They tear down fighters. Like they're trying to tear down Kambosos. And it make no sense. Let Kambosos face Lomachenko. Let's see the matchup. I favor Lomachenko to win that fight, but that don't mean my boy Kambosos ain't gonna put on a hell of a fight. Because Kambosos got quick feet. He does circle and move around. Lomachenko not that much taller or longer than him. So it's about two equally sized guys. He just showed he can handle a southpaw. I would be interested in seeing that fight. I don't know how it exactly would pan out. I don't know, because Lomachenko's not dealing with a flat-footed guy. This dude can move. He quick, he can move around and stuff. So I would be interested in seeing, okay, how did Lomachenko solve that puzzle? Right? And Kambosos got the credentials behind him. Former unified world champion. So if Lomachenko ain't looking for titles, and who knows, Kambosos might be fighting Lomachenko for a title. Now that you think about it. Might end up being that way. You know? So we got to see. Shakur is lined up to get a title shot at the WBC mandatory. So it depends on what route Loma wants to go. If he wants to face Shakur for the WBC, I believe Shakur, or is it WBO? I can't remember. I think Shakur is also lined up for the WBO. The IBF and the WBA, I don't know who's in line for that. I think Tank's in line for the WBA, or Tank will become the WBA champion when Devin Haney vacates. And I believe the IBF, I'm not too sure who's in line for the IBF. So if it's rankings, you know, but I think Kambosos is trying to get that Loma fight. Wish him the best of luck. So maybe Shakur might get the Loma fight, depending on what belt is offered and how they want to go about doing it. We'll see. But what I do know is Loma been looking to get titles. He want to get titles. That's what he would want to do. So he was trying to get the Devin Haney fight rematch because he wanted another shot at Undisputed. But you had your time. You had your shot, Loma. You had your shot, buddy. You just came up short. Now, I mean, it don't matter what other people say. You came up short. Anyways, man, what you need, I took a little longer than I expected, 35 minutes, 22 seconds. I talked about some other things. Of course, Caleb Plant slapped, he slapped Jamel Charlo because Jamel Charlo grabbed his head like this, grabbed him by here, and Caleb Plant let go of a left slap, left hook slap, and slapped his ass. I mean, seriously slapped his ass too. He got slapped, all right? And to be honest with you, Jamal, he was wrong. You know what I mean? He probably thought Caleb was some kind of punk. Caleb ain't no punk, man. He's a real fighter. Lucky he slapped him. If he hit him with a left hook, he'd have broke his jaw. You know what I mean? That was a serious slap he slapped. Yeah, Caleb not nobody to play. Y'all think Caleb a punk. Caleb no punk. That's what y'all got to understand. And them guys, if they make a fist, you knock your ass out cold. So thankfully he didn't close his fist on him. You know what I mean? Boxers are dangerous people, y'all. Dangerous people. But you can also F up the money, end up behind bars or some shit like that. So you don't want to do that. At the same time, man, don't play with them guys. Them guys is not guys to play with. But thankfully, it didn't go to blows. It's much more than that. Of course, Maul's going to hold that in his heart. And if you roll up on Caleb at any point in time, he and his boys, he going to try and get that get back. You know what I mean? Because Maul's that kind of guy. But I think they should settle it in the ring, to be honest with you. I hope they do. That's a good fight as well. Love to see Caleb Plant versus Jamal Charlo and see how that pans out. But you never know. You never know. That definitely went viral, so everybody knows about that slap now. But I think Charlo aggressively held Caleb Plant's face or something like that, and Caleb Plant slapped the snot out of him. But Maul is going through some stuff too. Maul's a bad boy. He a bad boy. But remember Caleb in a different weight class, right? And y'all must not know Caleb is a guy you got to respect. Caleb, he took on Benavidez, he took on Canelo. He's faced both of them. It'd be interesting for you guys to interview them and ask him who he thinks would win between Canelo and Benavidez, and you'd be surprised what he might say. So, anyways, man. That's all I got for you guys. I am what you need. I'm out of here. Peace. You guys enjoy the fights tonight. Don't forget to buy the fight. I'm going to catch you guys later. Peace. Boom.